And this is West Virginia Morning. I'm Chuck Anzelevich. As data centers make their way into the state, some state officials are welcoming them with open arms, while some residents have a long list of urgent questions.
We're just trying to understand, what is the scope of this project and how could it affect our water? How could it affect our land? How could it affect my children?
That story and more coming up on this West Virginia Morning. Support for West Virginia Morning is provided by Hope Gas, committed to the growth and development of West Virginia to strengthen the community. Information at wvisforhope.com. From Charleston to Huntington and Wheeling and Morgantown and multiple points in between, National Night Out will be celebrated across West Virginia tomorrow evening, August 4th. The event began in 1970 in Philadelphia as an effort to encourage police-community partnerships and promote neighborhood camaraderie. It always takes place on the first Tuesday in August each year in 17,000 communities in every state. National Night Out includes block parties, games, food, music, and prizes in a family-friendly atmosphere. Moore Capito, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of West Virginia, says National Night Out is a reminder that safer communities are built when neighbors look out for one another. His office will participate in events in Charleston and Huntington. Most events begin at 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. To find out where and when events are in your area, visit natw.org. Bugs are everywhere. They're essential to things like farming and a healthy environment, and they're hard to ignore when you spend time outside. Working with some folks at the Natural History Museum in Utah, WPLN news editor Daniel Potter has been making a podcast about bugs, including some things you can't miss this time of year: fireflies.
If you ask someone for a fond childhood memory regarding bugs, there's a decent chance their answer will involve an evening lit up by fireflies. I'm Daniel Potter. Today on the show, a guest who never fails to cast light on whatever's bugging us. It's Christy Bills, Invertebrate Collections Manager at the Natural History Museum of Utah. Christy, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Dan.
So, Christy, besides being one of your favorite bugs, what exactly are fireflies and how many kinds are there?
So fireflies are actually beetles, and there's about 2,000 different species around the world.
So what are some of the reasons that fireflies light up?
So they have two enzymes that come together, and that's how they make the light. Its bioluminescence happens in some mushrooms, some millipedes. I think the estimate is about 3/4 of the animals in the deep ocean have bioluminescence. So it's not an unusual thing on this planet, but it's an unusual thing in our terrestrial lives to see.
And for fireflies, it can do everything from help them find mates to potentially warding off predators.
Yeah, so the light says, hey, I taste nasty. But also in areas where there's more than one species, the signaling, the flashing pattern is species specific to bring in a mate of your own species.
It's kind of a Morse code that others of a given firefly's kind will recognize.
Unless you're choosing to signal to a different species so you can lure in food, and then you might signal a different species so that you can just get lunch.
That's diabolical.
We all got to eat.
That's true, too. Well, Christy Bills, this has been enlightening, as always.
Thanks for having me.
And from the Natural History Museum of Utah, that's our show. You can find more, including links to our episodes on YouTube and Spotify at nhmu.utah.edu.
That story was produced by the Appalachia Mid-South Newsroom, a collaboration between West Virginia Public Broadcasting, WPLN and WUOT in Tennessee, LPM, WEKU, WKMS, and WKYU in Kentucky, and NPR. You're listening to West Virginia Morning on West Virginia Public Broadcasting. It's 7:55. Across West Virginia, we expect mostly cloudy skies this morning, some clearing later in the day with high temperatures in the mid-70s to the mid-80s. Tonight, partly cloudy with lows in the mid-60s to the low 70s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny in the morning with a chance of showers and thunderstorms later in the day. Highs tomorrow in the 80s, and we expect variable cloudiness with a good chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday. Mostly during the afternoon, highs on Wednesday will be in the 80s. Data center development is a fast-growing industry with projects popping up in seemingly every corner of the country. But that's not been the case in West Virginia so far. For the Appalachia Mid-South Newsroom, Chris Schultz reports that state officials are rolling out the red carpet for the expensive and increasingly expansive projects.
West Virginia is largely untouched by data centers today. When completed, the 1.3 gigawatt Monarch Compute Campus, currently breaking ground on the banks of the Ohio River north of Point Pleasant, will become the state's first and the largest on Earth. For the past 4 months, Randy and Marcia Frame have lived with the daily noise of the construction as their neighbor. The Frames asked their voices not be used because they've recently entered into a tentative agreement with the project's developers. They want to stay. But with plans to expand the site's capacity even before the first building is erected, 60% of homeowners in their neighborhood have already agreed to sell to the developers.
It's not that data centers haven't existed. There have not been a lot of these facilities executed at this scale, and none yet in the state of West Virginia. So we actually don't know what the economic impacts of this are going to be.
Amy Margolis is the executive director of Tucker United, a grassroots coalition. Across West Virginia, at least 5 large-scale data centers are in various stages of development, including one with its own natural gas power source, known as a microgrid, in Margolis' community.
We're just trying to understand, what is the scope of this project and how could it affect our water? How could it affect our land? How could it affect my children?
West Virginia is trying to catch up to its neighbors with House Bill 2014. Passed in 2025, the law allows data centers to establish microgrids and prevents any local control like municipal zoning or noise ordinances. Proponents say the law creates a single regulatory standard that provides developers a clear, predictable set of rules, something Chris Morris, director of West Virginia's Data Economy Office, argues will help the state remain competitive on a national scale. In an email, Morris also referenced the law's creation of a data center liaison to review applications and address concerns of local stakeholders. Margolis and others remain unconvinced.
We're not saying, we're anti-data centers. We're saying, look, for us in Tucker County, this is a local issue. We feel like this project in this location, in this process, is not right for us.
Analysts like Kelly Allen, executive director of the nonprofit West Virginia Center on Budget and Policy, say it's been difficult to analyze the proposed benefits of data centers because it's unclear what the actual scale will be.
Those eye-popping numbers are usually based on maximum build-out scenarios that are often done in phases. They can often take years or even decades if they come to fruition at all.
To add to the uncertainty, West Virginia has provided ample tax breaks to data center developers, significantly reducing the primary benefit for a community landing a data center. Under HB 2014, 70% of all tax revenue is diverted to the state's coffers, leaving only 30% for local governments. Mike Pushkin is the chair of the West Virginia Democratic Party. Although his party makes up less than 10% of the state legislature, they have vowed to make reinstating local control of development a priority in the upcoming legislative session.
If we're going to do this, we should do it like other states do it and do it right and allow for the people to have a say-so in who's putting a data center in their backyard.
Members of West Virginia's Republican supermajority have also indicated interest in reforming the law. Until then, the state's centralized data center development will continue. For West Virginia Public Broadcasting, I'm Chris Schultz in Morgantown.
West Virginia Morning is a production of West Virginia Public Broadcasting, which is solely responsible for its content. Support for our news bureaus comes from Shepherd University and the Marshall University School of Journalism and Mass Communications. Maria Young produced today's show. You can listen to West Virginia Morning weekdays at 7:49 a.m. on WVPB Radio, or subscribe to the podcast and never miss an episode. #WV Morning. I'm Chuck Anzalevich.